Welcome to the show. Tonight on Wrestling Uncensored, WWE's plans for Wrestlemania. Royal Rumble betting odds are out. We are a week away from WWE TLC, and lots more going on in the world of professional wrestling. Wrestling Uncensored starts now. Hey, yo, survey time. How many of you people came to see WCW? And how many of you people came to see the NWO? Sorry, this Wrestling Uncensored, I don't know. I got caught up, man. I wanted to do a Scott Hall 1998 promo to start the show, John. I don't know why. I just felt like it. It's one of those nights, baby. I just saw SmackDown. I think I'm drunk from watching the show. It definitely made me feel stupider watching SmackDown tonight. What a great time, John. God damn, that was a bad show. How did you feel watching SmackDown? We were talking before. You're like, oh, SmackDown pissed me off tonight. Why were you pissed off at SmackDown? I just feel dumber having watched the show. It's just like, that was a lot of garbage. I didn't really like anything I saw tonight. What did you think of SmackDown tonight? We just finished watching the show.
It's just little things that SmackDown upsets me. Like, I didn't like how, like, you saw in the Street Profits match, or I think it was Ford against Ziggler.
Ziggler, yeah.
How they just like stopped the match. So then they can have the whole like cups come down thing. Like,
yeah, why?
That was just ridiculous. Because so they can have something to go to break with. That's it. But it's just little stupid things like that ruin the match.
Yeah.
Like, you have an actual wrestling match going on, and it's like, oh no, we got to do this little break thing. So let's have all the cups come down. It takes away from like the action. Like, it just goes to show you, like, it's not a wrestling show. It's just a show, really.
There was a lot in that match that was just very typical WWE and you know, exemplified why I just don't like what they're doing. It was a very simple match, Ziggler and Montez. They had a couple nice moves, but overall it wasn't a great performance. And then the finish just took away from any kind of good wrestling that they had built up until then. Because Robert Roode is outside the ring because he's Ziggler's tag partner.
Right.
Calling themselves aces, by the way. They are far from the ace of the company, that's for sure. But Ziggler's partner, Rude, is outside, and he throws a Dawkins, who's Montez's partner, into the steel ring steps, right? Montez is on the top rope. He watches this the whole time. He's watching the whole thing transpire.
The ref
and then, yeah, the ref sees it too. I mean, whatever. The ref doesn't matter for the ref, right? Because the ref shouldn't concern himself with what's happening with guys that are not legally in the match, right? Like Dawkins and Rude
were in the ring.
They didn't come
in the
ring.
They did nothing. They did during the match, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Anyways, I mean,
no
whatever.
DQ.
So, yeah, no DQ, whatever. So then Montez, he's just an idiot. He's in a match with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's in the ring. Montez is on the top rope, standing on the top rope. Very vulnerable position. And he, instead of focusing on his opponent, who he's in a match with, he's looking at what Robert Roode is doing to his goddamn tag team partner outside the ring. And then he gets distracted. Ziggler crotches him on the top rope. You know, he does a thing where he bumps down. Ziggler pushes him, bam, down, super kick, 1, 2, 3, Ziggler wins. Off a distraction finish. 90% of TV finishes in the WWE are distraction finishes. WWE needs to tell the wrestlers to focus on their task at hand. Watch your match. Pay attention. Because all of these wrestlers are stupid as hell. They can't focus on their match. How many distraction finishes do you see on an average week of WWE television? How many of the matches end with somebody getting confused by either music hitting or somebody outside the ring doing something, and that causes them to lose the match? It happens constantly in the WWE to the point where you expect it. You expect somebody to not lose cleanly. You expect something else to happen to cause the finish of the match. No one in the WWE can actually beat anybody. They all need somebody outside the ring to confuse the opponent so that they can win a match. It doesn't make anybody look good. It doesn't make the show entertaining. It doesn't build anybody to be a star because nobody gets a legit win. It's goddamn stupid, and it's what they're constantly doing. Every show they do. Distraction finish here, distraction finish there. It's constant. It's all the WWE does. Why do they do it? Because they're lazy. Because they don't want to come up with a story arc for this guy or that guy and come up with a reason as to why this guy lost cleanly. They can't come up with a clean finish because they're lazy. They're uninspired. They're not creative. WWE Creative Services is a joke. They're not creative. That's why they come up with these lazy finishes that are the same over and over again. We saw 2 tag team matches that finished the same way tonight on SmackDown. 2 of them. You couldn't even come up with a separate finish in the same show. Otis has the match won. He's teaming with Chad Gable. They're about to beat Cesaro and Shinsuke. Otis is in control. Chad Gable's like, tag me in. Tag me in. Gable comes in, loses the match. Natty and Billy Kay are teaming up. Finally, Billy Kay's on TV doing something. Natty and Billy Kay are in a tag team. Natty's in control, beating up the Riot Squad. And then Billy Kay's like, tag myself in. Loses the match. This is the same show. It's a same finish, same show, 2 tag team matches. Out of what? 5 matches on the whole goddamn show? 2 of them finished the same? And the other one's a distraction finish. You wonder why the ratings are in the toilet. You wonder why nobody wants to watch this trash that they're putting out. You wonder why I'm pissed off after having to watch 2 hours of this garbage. Because it's stupid. Because it's not rocket science, okay? It's professional wrestling. It's not that hard to do. And when people do it right, they call them a genius. It's not a fucking genius. It's just a guy who figured out how to do a pro wrestling finish. It's not a genius. It's a creative guy. A better than average mind. There are just so many idiots in professional wrestling. It's filled with goofballs and doofuses that when somebody comes up with a half-smart idea, you're like, he's a genius. No. It's not a genius. There's no geniuses in professional wrestling. There are some smart men. Genius? No. Some creative guys that have done well. Vince is a genius. He's a guy who figured it out. He bought up all his father's territory. He bought up his father's territory. He went around. He picked up the biggest stars. He figured out cable TV. He's like, everything's regional, but this cable TV thing, if I bought up all the stars, I'd make some money. That's what he did. He figured that out. He made WrestleMania. The other stuff was Pat Patterson, pretty much. No goddamn geniuses here. I'm watching the show. I don't think there's a genius in the lot. Believe me, if there was a genius there, something would be working. Triple H is no genius. Fucking doofuses. Am I wrong with what's with the finishes, John? They had the same finish in the same show. What the hell was that?
Right. That's lazy. That's lazy booking. But
Pathetic.
The main problem is the philosophy. The philosophy is the problem, is the full 50-50 booking.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want anyone to look bad. They will always want everyone to stay on the same level. But by doing so, no one ever goes ahead, really. Everyone stays the same. And you don't make any new stars, unfortunately. But
no new stars.
I will say one positive.
No new stars. Remember that. Remember that when we talk about Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg.
Well, because he was actually made. And that's what happens when you have a winning streak, which I don't think many people have now in wrestling. But that's besides the point. Like, there was at least some positives from SmackDown, because I know you harp on a lot of negatives, and there's even more negatives. So I don't need to get into all the other negatives. But
No.
let's talk about
Let's just
some
no.
positives
Let's
here.
show everybody that it's not just me. Give me some of your negatives too. What else sucked on this show, John?
Oh, we don't need to go down that black hole. Like, it's just it's really bad.
Let's go. What else did you not like on
But-
SmackDown tonight? You said you were pissed off about SmackDown. Let's go. I just ranted and raved for a while. People think I'm crazy. Show everybody that I'm not the only angry wrestling fan here. You're making me look bad.
Well,
Come on.
No, you stated a lot of how I felt about, like, I didn't like the way the show, like the direction of the show, the way it started, how the matches, like the direction of it, the tag matches as well, just uninspired wrestling pretty much. And the fact, again, like you said, the finishes are always the same. It's either like a roll-up, distraction. I mean, it's always the same. So it feels like the matches are pointless when that happens. However,
Totally
here's the
pointless.
positive here.
Why are we watching? Go on. Sorry.
the Sami Zayn Big E match,
Yep.
I like that count out finish. That was good. That was
Clean
creative
finish.
right there.
Clean
Clean finish.
Who do you think's doing that, though? Who's coming up with that? Who's putting the time and effort into that? You think it's the WWE team, or you think it's Sammy? That smells like Sammy.
It's probably Sammy and whoever was probably the producer of that match as well, because they realized they
"Okay,
have a
Sammy."
direction for him.
They said, "Okay, Sammy, we'll do that." That's what the producer did. Okay, Sammy, good idea. Thanks, Hurricane.
Maybe.
See you later. Right?
You don't know if it was him for sure. Could have been Jamie
No.
Noble too. You
Yeah,
never
it could
know.
have been a number of guys. Thank you, Sanjay Dutt. I'll talk to you later.
A number of guys it could have been, but
Yeah.
I think they have a direction for him, and that helps him a lot. Is that the
Yeah.
whole thing is that he wins by any means necessary.
Mostly
Right now
count
he's
out.
doing the whole. Well, right now it's count out, but I think they're going to figure other ways as well, because the count out you can only do that so many times until it becomes tired. So I think eventually he's going to come up with other ways to win. So we'll wait and see for that. But this is a good thing for Sammy, that he has something that he can just build upon. He's been doing so.
Yeah, Sammy is a bright spot amongst a lot of darkness on SmackDown. His promo backstage was good. His match with Big E was good. He's good. He's the Intercontinental Champion. Sammy is good. When he speaks, I'm entertained. When he wrestles, I'm entertained. Everybody else? I mean,
Oh yeah,
you know, we
can talk
had to
about
watch. We had to watch King Corbin do a promo with the Knights of the Lone Wolf. Thankfully, there wasn't a match to follow up with it, but
no Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio family. That was positive.
well, yeah, no Ray family. What happened there? I thought they were going to show up after Corbin cut a promo, but I guess they ran out of time.
It's Ray's birthday.
Oh, so he's celebrating?
Yeah, not to be on a wrestling show. It's a celebration for all of us.
See, Bob Cote on the chat. I'm seeing guys on the chat. I see Bob Cote. I see Patrick C. Hamilton. Don't forget, do like Patrick and become a member of the Ringside Report YouTube channel. We appreciate you very much when you do sign up to become a member. You become a big supporter of the team. We shout you out on every show. We give you, graphics. You have special emojis, and you're supporting the team. So thank you, Patrick C. Hamilton, my main man out in Regina, Saskatchewan, for becoming a member of the team. You see his name up there. It's in green. He's got a special emoji in the chat because he's a member, which means he's better than everybody else. If you're a member, that means you're up above, right? I mean, right? You're a member. You're part of the
Thing
team.
stands out.
Exactly. It
You
stands
see it
out.
more, yeah.
I see it more. That's it. I see you more in the chat if you're a member, and I'm seeing Patrick C. Hamilton. He was there before the show started, always there. We appreciate you,
Seeing
Patrick.
stuff on the screen.
Huh?
There's
Yeah.
like stuff on the screen now.
Yeah, there's stuff on the
Weird.
screen, like over me. I'm not really sure why that's happening. I think our production team is doing some adjustments. I'm still here.
Yeah, I still see me. It's okay.
Oh, there you go. I'm still
no,
here.
I don't.
There you go. See, he's moving it. That's our production team working as we're working. That's not me. I'm not doing that. That's not Johnny. Johnny, put your hands up to show that you're not moving the mouse. See, that's not us. We have a production team, and somebody's got to pay that team. So thank you for supporting the team and becoming a member of the channel. Go to our channel, click that membership thing, and also subscribe to our channel. Click the bell when you subscribe so you get notifications every time that we're on. Like this video, leave a comment as well. We appreciate all that stuff. We really do. But a big shout out to Patrick C. Hamilton for joining, becoming a member. And thank you if you have joined as well. And I don't see you in the chat right now, but we want members, all right? We need members so we can get to the next level and we can keep producing more content. Johnny and I both work shoot jobs. We have to work jobs that we don't like, and we'd rather just watch wrestling and talk to you guys 24/7 and just kind of do that and not have to work, a real job. But right now we can't do that because financially it is impossible. So if you keep supporting the channel, maybe one day Johnny and I could quit our jobs and we could just do this full time and talk to each other all the time and live happier and more productive lives.
I got a question. Like, who's this I need to join exactly? Like, I see the comment that's on the screen. It says, imagine to join them. Who exactly?
I don't know. Maybe on SmackDown. Mako8033 is like obsessed with the idea of you dyeing your hair blonde. I don't know why. Bob Cote on the chat says, Sammy and KO, the two Quebec boys, are the stars of SmackDown. I agree. I think Sammy and KO are the two stars of SmackDown. And Patrick C. Hamilton says, I like spending parts of my weekend with you guys. I will be back tomorrow. Yes, Patrick. Patrick knows the schedule. Patrick knows what's up. We will be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. For the UFC 256 watch-along. I'm going to be watching the fights with the boys, the Ringside Report boys, AJ, Freddie. AJ was on fire last night. More than one person has come to me and been like, was AJ on something last night? What's going on? I couldn't get a word in. He would not shut up. I had to yell at him like a bunch during the show. Like, shut up, AJ. I'm trying to talk here. I'm trying to finish a sentence. He would jump in with just like random shit. It was really weird. He was a little like, I think he had, Darren Till. Like, just said Darren Till for no reason. Very strange. He's on fire usually, but last night he was like, really jumpy. He must have had an espresso or something. I don't know. He might have had coffee. I don't know what he had, but like Johnny before the show, you were like, yeah, AJ was like, it's like, was he on something? And then somebody else was talking to me earlier, and they were like, was AJ on something last night? What's going on with AJ? And I know AJ is straight edge. He doesn't do any drugs. He drinks a little bit, but he doesn't do any drugs, so he's not on any kind of speed, But I don't know, man. AJ was a little bananas last night. Hopefully he'll be a little bit more relaxed tomorrow, or maybe he'll be even more out of control tomorrow when we do the UFC 256 watch-along. Of course, Ringside Report MMA every Thursday night at 8 p.m., and of course this show, Wrestling Uncensored, every Friday night, 10 p.m. right here after SmackDown, and we'll be back for UFC 256 tomorrow night for the watch-along. You like that, John? That was for you, baby.
You're quite gassy. You seem to be giving out a lot of gas like last couple of shows. Like drinking a lot of soda lately, I guess.
I gotta say, it's always been there. I've just decided to burp into the mic now. I heard Howard Stern do it a bunch of times, and I'm like, yeah, that seems funny. I'll do that too. I'm just ripping off a Howard Stern bit. He burps into the mic, and he's the greatest broadcaster of all time. I used to think it was unprofessional to burp into a live microphone because, like, it kind of is. But if Howard Stern does it and he's the greatest broadcaster of all time, fuck unprofessional. I'm going to burp into the mic just like Howard. Hey now. Signed 5 more years Howard Stern signed for. He's going to be on the radio till he's 71 years of age. 5 more years till he's 71. I mean, I love Howard and everything, but I think some of these old guys need to move out of the way. Move out of the way. How come people in their 70s won't just go away already? It's like, the world is not yours anymore. The world is mine. Get out of the way. No disrespect, but like Sting, he's 61. Goldberg still sticking around. Howard signing till he's 71. See old guys left and right that just won't get out of the way. Get out of the way, Vince McMahon. Get out of your own way. Get out of the way. These old guys won't give up. Trump won't give up. Biden won't give up. These guys are near death. Get out of the way. Fuck.
Well, Biden's president-elect. He's not getting out of the way. He's actually coming
Get out of the way, bitch. You suck.
Regardless of that, Sting, if you saw the ratings, his segment, His segment drew the highest ratings. So people want to see Sting, regardless what some people might think.
He looks so old.
Well, he's 61. I mean, he is old, but regardless, people want to see him.
I saw somebody tweet out today, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful. He tweeted out saying how Sting is older today. He's like 2 years older than Mr. Fuji was when Yoko won his first title, which I thought was hilarious because back then Fuji looked a million years old, and Sting is older than that Mr. Fuji. Like, Sting is so old, man. He's so goddamn old. Why is, like, he can't wrestle? It's ridiculous. What's he going to do?
You saw the promo? He's definitely going to wrestle. Come on.
Yeah,
like, he had two matches.
I know. It's stupid. We'll talk about that later. Well, I want to talk about WWE nonsense. But
can we talk about that merch table? Like, why is there a merch table, by the way? Like, there's no fans at the arena, and they have a merch table set up. Like, the logic of
Sammy
SmackDown,
was mad.
like, it hurts.
I know. There's no logic. Sammy was mad backstage complaining that he didn't have a T-shirt at the merch stand. But, yeah, you're right. Nobody's buying T-shirts, so. And Sammy does have a shirt. Sammy does have a shirt at WWE Shop. You can buy a Sammy shirt.
Revealed that, yeah.
Yeah, I posted it on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, there's a shirt. I don't know what you're talking about.
But someone responded to you and said, like, you're thinking too hard here. Like, they don't think like that.
I know.
Think within their own little box. Like,
oh, no, that guy's right. That guy's right. Who tweeted to me? That guy's like a MMA guy. No, see, Lauren Cronish. Lauren Cronish is not, he's 56. 56 is not old. You know what I mean? 56 is not old for a man. 61 is old for a wrestler. 56 is old for a wrestler. You know? Like, I'm not old.
How am I the one in the wrong here? Like,
I don't know.
I'm not nice. I didn't bash Sting. Like, I like Sting.
I just think 61 for a wrestler, like, come on. Like, I'm not old, right? I'm 35. But for an MMA fighter, I'm pretty old. Like, if you're an MMA fighter and you're 35, it's like, you're pretty much done, bro. You got maybe 5 good years left and then call it quits. A 40-year-old man is not old. A 40-year-old athlete is retired. You know what I mean? So a 61-year-old man, like, what? And then some of these guys that are like 80 and still want to rule the world, like, okay, get over yourself. You know what I mean? Like, some of these guys are like near 80 and they still want to run shit. And it's like, yo, you're so out of touch with anything. How are you running anything? Get out of the way. Like, retire. Retirement happens at 65. If you're 75 and still working, there's a problem. You haven't done life right. I've already told you my plan for retirement. When I hit 65, Johnny, I've told you my plan, right? LSD till I die. Woo! Once I hit 65, I'm just going on a trip till I die.
Again, people want to see Sting. He got the ratings, man. So
who wants to see Sting? I mean, the curiosity's there. I don't want to see him. He's old. I'd never wanted to see him. I didn't want to see him 20 years ago when he was in TNA. Was that 20 years ago? It feels like it. I mean, maybe not. 15 years ago? 10? I don't know. Garbage. Okay, WWE has plans for WrestleMania, apparently. Old guys, get out of the way. Goldberg, get out of the way. Goldberg was on the bump this week, and he said he wants a match with Roman Reigns.
He didn't get it last year.
The rumors are Goldberg versus Roman for Mania, Randy versus Edge, Randy versus Edge again, and Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar versus Keith Lee in a triple threat match. But that is like weird because it completely goes against the other big news that came out this week, which was Dave Meltzer reporting that Vince McMahon is sick of all the big guys and their lack of working ability and has sent them, including Keith Lee, back to developmental at the Performance Center for extra training to learn how to work from Adam Pearce and Drew Gulak. So Keith Lee apparently has been sent for extra work to figure out how to be a better wrestler. Otis was sent down as well, which, those are the surprises. The other ones are Dabba-Kato, who was the guy on Raw Underground who we haven't seen since, and you don't wonder why. Omos, who's AJ Styles' gigantic guy. And Dio Madden, who's Mace, I think, in the Retribution, who's big but can't wrestle.
Right.
So how in the same week is Keith Lee rumored for a WrestleMania main event, yet at the same time he's been sent back down because he can't work?
Well, these are very tentative WrestleMania
weird,
plans,
right?
This is just like someone throwing a bunch of names and like, oh, well, this would make sense. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, I don't think any of this is like for sure going to happen because as we saw last year with WrestleMania, it all pretty much came together within like 2 months. So I don't feel like any of this is like a lock. Like, you can pretty much just say like, oh, Reigns versus Goldberg. It didn't happen yet. So yeah, WrestleMania, that makes sense. Sure, that should be one of the matches. And then like you just look at the names on Raw. Well, Randy and Edge, they still have to have that third match, right? And the trilogy. So that makes sense. And then, well, just take a bunch of names on Raw. Brock hasn't come back yet. Throw him in a match with Drew. And because we've already seen that before, well, make it interesting. Just throw another name, Keith Lee. He's somewhat involved with Drew McIntyre anyways right now, so it kind of makes sense.
Do you believe we'll see any of those matches? How many of those matches do you think we'll actually see at WrestleMania? I think Edge and Randy probably.
I think that's, almost for sure. And I could see Roman against Goldberg, but to me it's kind of like lacking in a sense because the way they're pushing Roman, like you expect something else than that. Like Goldberg shouldn't be the big payoff for WrestleMania. It should be like Goldberg, that should be maybe the Rumble.
Yeah. Well, the payoff that makes sense is The Rock, but apparently Big Dwayne isn't available. But he is talking about working Roman at Mania 2022 when Dwayne will be 49, which is old AF for a wrestler, especially a non-active wrestler.
Jericho's 50.
Yeah, but Jericho's actually a wrestler.
Well, The Rock is still somewhat, look like a wrestler, so
Jericho
works.
Yeah, he looks like a wrestler, but he's not a wrestler. And Jericho, his whole career could work circles around Dwayne. I mean, to be real, right? So.
Well, The Rock's a showman. That's all he's got to do. He's just got to...
Yeah, he's just got to show up. He's a showman. Just show up and wrestle Roman Reigns in one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history. God damn, that's going to be awful. But we won't have to see it till 2022. Because instead, Roman and Goldberg might happen. Does that mean Goldberg wins the Rumble?
That's highly possible.
Oh.
Like you said, you had Rumble betting odds, right? Like, what are the betting odds?
The betting odds have Big E as a favorite to win the men's Rumble.
That's amazing.
Big E and Edge are the favorites right now, plus 500, both of them. After that, it goes Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar, plus 800. So Big E and Edge are the favorites. Keith Lee and Brock after that. Then it goes Kevin Owens, plus 1,000. Roman Reigns, plus 1,000. AJ Styles, plus 1,200. The Rock, plus 1,400. Daniel Bryan, plus 1,400. I'll tell you, put $5 on Daniel Bryan at plus 1,400. Because Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania would be an actually good wrestling match. I would like to see that.
The way it's going, though, it seems like it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns at the Rumble. So you'd like to see it, but you're going to get too early, I think.
They could delay it. They could do another KO match.
They could.
Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, to me, is best case scenario because Roman Reigns and Goldberg is going to be terrible. It's not going to be a good match, and Goldberg doesn't deserve, God damn, you're going to have him win the Rumble? How old is Bill Goldberg?
Well, while you check that, I'm just going to bring up the fact that this is what people are doing now. They bring back old stars because their current stars aren't stars yet. So you got to bring back people, and that's what gets the ratings up. And it does actually work. SmackDown's ratings were up higher when they had Goldberg on the show.
Goldberg will be 54 come WrestleMania. 54.
Oh, he's still good.
He's still good. Remember his match with Undertaker? Was that good?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because you
I'd
like
watch
when
it again.
people botch. You like fuck-ups. It's ridiculous. Goldberg's terrible. He's never been good, and now he's super old and awful. I don't want to see him wrestle Roman Reigns. I don't want to see Goldberg wrestle ever again. What is this WWE? Like, I'm just tired of the whole goddamn thing, the whole goddamn system. I'm tired of Roman Reigns on top. I'm tired of Drew McIntyre on top. I'm tired of all these guys that aren't particularly interesting running the whole show. Okay, Roman is a good heel. Why is he a good heel? Because he's playing the privileged, entitled asshole that's been handed everything, and all he has to do is show up. Why does that work? Because that's who he is. If Roman Reigns was entertaining, this whole act wouldn't work. Because people wouldn't resent him. They'd be like, well, Roman, you're the top guy because you're the best. But no, it works because when he's in the ring, it's horrible. It's horrible. His matches with Jey Uso were sleep-inducing. He is so boring. And he's on top. And now they're going to set him up with a match with Kevin Owens to make him look good because Kevin Owens can actually wrestle. Because Kevin Owens is actually entertaining. Then they're going to set him up with a match with Daniel Bryan to make him look good for the same reasons. Because Daniel Bryan's actually good at wrestling. All aspects of the game. Unlike Roman. But Roman's on top because he looks so pretty. And he's got the family lineage, and he's related to The Rock. Don't forget that. So you got to have Roman. He's so cool backstage. Everybody thinks he's so cool. How's that working for you? Roman Reigns cutting a promo. You know, it was a good little promo. Beating up Kevin Owens. Cutting the promo to the camera saying, oh, I'm Roman Reigns, and I'm the head of the table. I'm the head of your table. And Kevin Owens' family, I put food on your table, and you better talk some sense into your dad, kids, or there's going to be no more food. And it's like, okay, if you were a guy that sold tickets, if you were a guy that drew the house, if you were Hogan in the 80s, Austin in the 90s, I could buy your bullshit. But you don't draw shit, Roman. No one buys tickets to see your boring ass. Fucking nobody even buys tickets. You don't draw shit. You're not the head of anything. You're a hand-picked SmackDown champion. You're a fucking nothing. You're boring as fuck. You'd be nowhere if it wasn't for your daddy and Vince thinking that you're the shit. You're fucking single-handedly killing the company. The WWE is drowning. And you, Roman Reigns, are not doing anything to right the ship. Neither's Drew McIntyre. He's doing less. He's doing less. You know what kind of champions they are? Paper champions. Fugazi champions. Bullshit champions. Guys that aren't doing shit for the company. How are the ratings? How's business? How's interest in the product overall? In the fucking toilet. You're not putting food on anybody's table, Roman. The company puts food on the table. They don't sell their individual stars because they can't make individual stars. They sell WWE. They sell WrestleMania. They sell Royal Rumble. You think people tune in to see who's on the Rumble? No. They tune in to the Rumble. You think people tune in to see you, Roman Reigns, at WrestleMania? No. They tune in to the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania. The brand is what sells. None of these guys are putting food on the table. None of these guys are the reason why people's asses are in the seats. Nobody's selling tickets. Nobody's drawing a house. The WWE is the brand. The WWE is the draw. And there's not a single fucking guy on that roster who's drawing money. Not one. And especially not fucking Roman. Am I wrong? I mean, not right now, nobody's drawing money. But as far as a legit box office draw, is Roman a draw? I don't think so. I don't know many people other than, maybe some ladies that are buying tickets to see Roman Reigns.
Well, you kind of said it yourself, though. Like, regardless, like, what you think of Roman, he's still better than what they're producing on Raw. So, regardless that you think Roman isn't the best, he's still better than anything else WWE has going for itself. So,
no, he's
Roman
not.
Still stands out.
No, he's not.
What's better?
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn,
Yeah, but
AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan. They have the pieces. Big E, Kofi Kingston. I mean, I could go down a list of guys better than Roman and Drew and Randy and all the other top stars that they shove down your throat that nobody wants to see. Nobody. This is why nobody's watching the show. Nobody wants to see these guys. They don't have stars. They don't have real stars. They have talents that they don't make into stars, and they have jabronis that they push like crazy. Like Miz and Randy and Roman and all these other boring-ass, no talent, lazy wrestlers. Wrestlers. Are they in the wrestling business? Have they worked anywhere else other than the WWE? The guys that have wrestled outside of the WWE, they're actually pretty good. The guys that have just been in the system, not too good. Not too good. The in-the-system guys are letting the company down. And right now, those are the guys that they push. That's all they have. WWE made products that are dragging the company down. I mean, they're not helping. Roman is not helping. Drew is not helping. I look at AEW, I see Kenny Omega, and I'm seeing Dave will be happier when he starts talking about AEW and UFC. Of course.
I see that.
Yeah, I see that on the chat. Of course I will. Because I like that shit. It's fun. I like the UFC. Davison Figueiredo, that's a bad motherfucker. I love that guy. Vince would never give a shit about him because he's a 125-pound champion. But he's a real bad motherfucker, and I'm smart enough to know that you don't have to be Drew McIntyre size to be a real badass. And in a real fight, Davison Figueiredo all day over Drew McIntyre. I don't give a shit how small he is. Yeah, I like the UFC. Yeah, AEW, you see Kenny Omega? You see how good that guy is? He's a fantastic champion. Is AEW perfect? Hell no. Are they doing things better than the WWE right now? Big time. Big time. WWE's killing themselves. And I'm a WWE fan, man. I love the WWE. Like, this is why I'm mad. People always think, oh, you're mad, you hate WWE. No, I love the WWE. And I know that they have talent, and I know that they can do it right. I feel that WWE done right is the greatest form of entertainment known to man. When it's done wrong, it's some of the worst shit you'll ever see. I've seen the WWE at its height. I've seen some great shit. Okay? I saw Bret Hart. I saw the whole Stone Cold run. I saw The Rock in his prime. Not the Dwayne, The Rock. Daniel Bryan, Chris Jericho. Kurt Angle. I've seen it. And then John Cena happened, and everything just kind of, you know?
To be fair, Batista too.
Yeah. The Cena and Batista era, since then, since WrestleMania 21, WrestleMania 20 was the end of a good WWE wrestling. WrestleMania 21, since then, it's been shit. WrestleMania 30 was cool when Daniel Bryan was on top. Other than that, it's been garbage. Even when they had CM Punk and he was on top, like they couldn't quite figure out how to make him the top star. They still were like, yeah, Cena, Rock, let's just do that. But the whole wrestling world was like, hey, we like this Punk guy. You're onto something. WWE's like, no. You mean John Cena? We're like, no, CM Punk, we like this guy. No. You like John Cena. CM Punk is just a fad, pal. No, we like Punk. We like him to kind of be the top guy, and maybe you center the company around him, and maybe this is a change, maybe wrestling kind of goes to like a different place where it's like centered around the actual wrestlers, and you don't just push these muscle guys down our throats that are really boring in the ring. No. John Cena and Batista, pal. This is what you want. Triple H. Look at this guy. And that's what we have. That's where we're at. And AEW is like, all right, we're going to give you a little bit more of what you want. We recognize what wrestling fans kind of are looking for, and we're going to go in that direction. Kenny Omega is a great world champion. Kenny Omega might be the best world champion in the business today. I'll take a Kenny Omega main event, even against Jon Moxley. I'll take Kenny against anybody over Drew or Roman against anybody. Anybody. I'll take Kenny, Joey Janela, which will happen on Dynamite Wednesday, over Roman, Kevin Owens, TLC. Because I have that little faith in WWE to give me anything that I can care about. And also, Kenny is going to give me something interesting. He's going to surprise me in some kind of way. The WWE, I know Kevin's going to fall through some tables. He's going to fall off a ladder. He's going to take a vicious beating. And in the end, Roman will win. How about this at TLC? How about Kevin wins and AJ wins, and then we don't see Drew and Roman for like a year? How about that? It would make wrestling far more palatable for me to watch. But of course, that'll never happen.
Well, I just want to make sure. Are we done with SmackDown? Are we moving on to Raw? Or I just want to make sure we're going in the right direction here. Like, we'll get through WWE first, right?
I don't know where we are, John. Okay? I've lost my mind.
Can we talk about Raw? As long as we don't talk about the opening segment, again, Raw wasn't that bad.
Can we talk about the betting odds for the Rumble first? Like, who... Like, Big E is a favorite. Edge is a favorite. I don't think either of those guys are going to win the Rumble. I think Goldberg...
I like Edge.
Goldberg, maybe? But Edge would have to then face a champion, and he's not going to do that. He's facing Randy, and Randy's not going to be champion. Especially if Drew is going to wrestle... Randy. No. Drew's going to be the champion at Mania. And he'll probably wrestle Brock.
Give back to Randy.
No, it's not going to happen, John. Keep dreaming. I know you love Randy, but it won't happen. I think Goldberg might win the Rumble, John. At this point, I'm picking Goldberg.
That's not a bad pick. That's a good pick.
I wish it was Daniel Bryan instead. Daniel Bryan should win the Rumble. He hasn't won one. And how many have there been where it's like, yeah, he's going to win here. Seems like his Rumble to win. And it's like, oh, nope. Bray Wyatt just eliminated him. Remember that Rumble where he came back and it was like, oh, shit, he's going to win here. And then it's like, no, he was eliminated and it was like 10 guys still to go. And the rest of the Rumble was just like, fuck this. Are you kidding me? Remember when they booed Rey Mysterio because you thought Daniel Bryan was going to be in the Rumble, and then Rey Mysterio was number 30, and the fans booed Rey Mysterio because they wanted Daniel Bryan? Good job, WWE. Make the WWE fans boo one of the most beloved characters ever. Because they didn't get what they wanted. Because WWE is so fucking tone deaf. They can't figure out when we want Daniel Bryan. Have you seen Daniel Bryan, by the way? He posted on Instagram. He's got a haircut. He's got a nice watch, a suit on. He looks Very handsome. He looks like the face of the company. My God, what a dashing man. You can tell I'm in love with
Taking
Daniel
another
Bryan,
break,
right?
looks like.
Huh?
Looks like he's taking another break. Like, it seems like every couple of weeks he has this like angle on TV where he gets taken out for a while. So takes these little breaks.
What's the point of being
It's
on
hard to
TV?
get behind that.
They're not doing anything with him. What's the point? You know, it was supposed to be Bryan here at TLC, and I think they decided to push it to the Rumble, so he's going to wait. What's he going to do? It's Roman. Like, Bryan had a thing with Jey Uso. He got attacked and all this, and then Kevin Owens steps in, and all of a sudden it's Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. Because they don't have plans. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Who's your pick to win the Rumble? My pick is Goldberg. And last week my pick was Sheamus, so who knows? My pick will change next week. But right now I'm going with Goldberg, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll say these are our early picks, right? Because, like, obviously it's probably going to change closer to time into next year. But I'm saying Edge right now.
Okay. Who's your pick to win the Women's Rumble? Rhea Ripley is the favorite. Do you care?
Rhea Ripley's the favorite? Why?
I don't know.
Seems kind of odd.
She's the betting favorite, but like plus 700. Second favorite, Ronda Rousey, plus 750. Yes. We need Ronda. I need Ronda back. I miss her.
Would be great.
Yeah.
I'd love it to be Ronda, to be honest.
Yeah. Pro wrestling needs Ronda Rousey. But you know what?
But here's the
thing.
Pro
wrestling didn't appreciate Ronda Rousey when we goddamn had her, so maybe not, I remember coming on the show saying, appreciate her because one day she's going to be gone, and she is the biggest star in the sport, and she is wrestling every single week on Raw against each and every one of the women that they have there. She worked everybody, and she was the biggest star in the game. And yeah, she was a little rough. She was green, and she's Ronda Rousey. She's going to be a little rough. And I'm sorry that your favorite wrestler got roughed around by Ronda Rousey. Fucking deal with it. Stop being such a bitch. It's Ronda Rousey. It's pro wrestling. It's not ballet. Suck it up. Injuries happen. I'm so sick of that shit. Oh, she hurt Alexa Bliss. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Fuck Alexa Bliss. She sucks. She hurt her even more. Fuck it. Who cares? It's fucking Ronda Rousey. You think anybody gives a shit? It's a joke, man. Fucking Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey or Alexa Bliss? Oh, gee, I wonder. Get out of here.
Well, it's just you see Nia Jax like injure someone almost every week, and that seems to go by okay, like unchecked.
Yeah, exactly.
But when Ronda did one little thing and it's like the end of the world, like come on.
Yeah, I mean Nia's injury prone working doesn't really go unchecked, John. I mean that's not really true, but I get your point. She remains a top star in WWE.
She might be the champ going into WrestleMania, like as sad as it looks like. Because think about it.
Yeah, she.
Her and Charlotte, there was something there. I think they might do her and Charlotte at Mania.
I read something where they're rumored to bring Charlotte and Andrade back together and use Charlotte's fame to like propel Andrade into a higher level. I've been calling for it for years, Johnny. Here we go. Finally. Are you surprised that Otis and Keith Lee got sent back down to like learn how to work? Keith Lee seems to be a good wrestler, but I'm not a wrestler. You are. What do you think?
Well, I just think Vince just doesn't like his style because, like, I guess he wrestles more like an indie guy.
Too indie.
It's a lot like the Jericho thing. Like he didn't like how Jericho worked. Mm-hmm. Not that anything was wrong with Jericho, but it wasn't the WWE style, and Vince probably just doesn't like him for what he sees every week. So that's the problem. I think it's ridiculous. I have no problem with Keith Lee. Otis kind of looked kind of bad on SmackDown this week, so I'm not surprised by that. Also, Otis has looked bad like for a while, so this is not surprising whatsoever.
The first half of 2020, good for Otis. Second half, since winning, like, have you ever seen somebody fall so hard after winning Money in the Bank, other than maybe Ken Anderson, Mr. Kennedy?
Well, I mean,
this has got Damian Sandow.
I was going to say that. But besides the Miz thing, yes. You'd say it with him. Like, the Miz thing kind of helped him a little bit, but still it didn't help him too much in the long road.
Took the case off of him.
Yeah, they did, sadly.
You know, that happened through the Miz thing. I don't think anybody has had a worse run of luck after winning Money in the Bank than Otis. I don't think anybody's been demoted harder than Otis after winning Money in the Bank. Crazy. Like, at least Sandow got to cash in. He cashed in on Cena and lost, but at least he got to cash in. I mean, Ken Anderson didn't get to cash in, but he failed a drug test, and that's why they took the briefcase off of him. And, of course, you know, at that point, it looked like he was going to be a top star in WWE, but after the drug test failure and the Money in the Bank taken away, his career kind of was never the same. He went to Impact for a while. I don't even know.
Well, you've got the Randy Orton incident, too.
What happened with Randy and Ken Anderson?
There was a suplex, and he dropped Randy, it seemed like, high on his head. And Randy, like, slapped him in the back of the head afterwards, and then pretty much got Ken fired right after Raw.
That makes sense. So, yeah, you know, he had a pretty bad run, but he did fail a drug test. Like, Otis hasn't done anything, you know? This might be the worst Money in the Bank winner of all time as far as what happened to him afterwards. And it just shows you WWE has no fucking clue what they're doing. Let's give this guy the Money in the Bank, pal. Oh, who is this fat guy we gave Money in the Bank to? I hate him. He can't even work. Send him back down to developmental. Adam Pearce needs to teach him. Adam Pearce is the answer to all my problems. He's the GM of all the shows. He teaches all my guys to work. He agents all my matches. Adam Pearce is my hero. Fucking Adam Pearce is like, I hope he's getting paid because he seems to be doing everything. Right? Must be rich.
Runs Raw and SmackDown, it seems.
Yeah. Adam Pearce has more contracts than Brandon Cutler. So fucking Otis. You want to talk about Raw? What happened on Raw?
Well, there was another bad segment to start Raw, unfortunately.
I mean, yeah. Are you talking about the 10-bell salute? Or the Randy promo?
Not that. There was no Zeus 10-bell salute. I was a little disappointed by that, but oh well.
Well, they're not going to do a 10-bell salute for Zeus. They might have mentioned it. They didn't even put a graphic up on the screen. Rest in peace, Tiny Lister, a.k.a. Zeus, a.k.a. Debo from Friday, who passed away yesterday, I think. We talked about it on Ringside Report when I saw the news break. But he did wrestle in WWE, and they didn't mention it on SmackDown.
Main events of WrestleMania pay-per-views, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, but, you know, nothing.
Yeah. They did a 10-bell salute again for Pat Patterson on the Raw stage, and then Randy Orton comes out to do a promo about The Fiend. Randy says he's more evil than The Fiend, and then Bray Wyatt shows up on the Tron from the Firefly Funhouse, and Bray plays a game show called Let's Get Randy, and then Randy wants a match tonight with Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend, because he'll see The Fiend at TLC, which makes sense. And then Bray accepts. And now you got to explain the finish of this match to me, John, because I feel like Bray Wyatt got disqualified when he himself interfered in his match. So it's Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, okay? Randy hits Bray with the RKO after a long, boring match that was really, really bad. And then the Fiend lights go out after the RKO, and then the lights come back on, and Randy's lying on top of Bray, but it's not Bray anymore, it's the Fiend. So there's a costume change, right? He's got a mask and different pants. Same guy, just a mask. Randy is like freaked out of the costume change. Oh my God, he changed costumes. This is so frightening. And then Fiend puts his mandible claw on Randy. The show fades to black, and that's it. So I guess it was a no contest, but there was no finish to that match, right? No contest. But I think it's funnier to believe that Bray Wyatt was disqualified when the Fiend interfered to attack Randy Orton. That's my finish of the match, because they didn't really give us a finish. It was goddamn awful. I mean, that was the top and ending of the show. The rest of the show was pretty shitty, too. But that Randy Orton-Bray Wyatt match, fuck, that was bad. And guess what? We're going to have to see them wrestle again at TLC.
Well, To me, I just find Bray Wyatt, he's not a very good wrestler.
Or
And I'm kind
talker.
of glad we don't see him wrestle. Well, the talking, whatever, like his gimmick, like he understands his gimmick. It might not be like your cup of tea, but like I think a lot of people are interested in that kind of gimmick. And I actually think it's an improvement from his past like gimmick that he had. So I don't mind it that much, and he's better when he doesn't have Bliss with him as well. So
Yeah.
this wasn't as bad as it was last week.
She's worse at doing that gimmick than he is. Like, she basically has taken his gimmick and made it her own, and she's worse at it than him. He's bad, but she's awful. Where's Rhonda?
We don't need to get more injuries on this. But to be fair to Bliss, though, like, she's actually had better matches since she's done this, actually, though. Think about it. The Lacey Evans match, very good. Nikki Cross was also a pretty good match as well.
Depends on
like
what your definition of very good is.
I'm just saying, her not wrestling that much, it actually makes you appreciate her more, I find.
I don't know. I feel like I'm appreciating her less and less every single day. Every day I like Alexa Bliss less.
Well, I thought Asuka, Shayna Baszler, that was probably the match of the week for Raw. I think there's no question about that. That was an excellent match. I don't know what you thought.
Kofi and Shelton was good too.
It was, but it was weird because like Kofi had already wrestled.
No.
Like,
Cedric was the second match.
Oh, that's true, yes. Yeah, but
Kofi and Shelton was first. That was weird. What the hell was that? Kofi and Shelton wrestle. Kofi wins. Trouble in Paradise. Pinfall. Cedric gets on the mic and he's like, "Oh, Kofi, you're scared to wrestle me right now?" And it's like,
exactly,
why would he do
weird.
that? He just wrestled a match against your tag partner and beat him. And then, of course, Kofi loses to Cedric after a lumbar check. And it's like, the match was all right, but it's weird that it happened. Why would Kofi accept? And shouldn't Woods be in the match against Cedric? Like, Woods was there. He lost to Cedric last week. Shouldn't he have a rematch this week? Like, it was weird that Kofi wrestled Shelton and then wrestled Cedric, and Woods was just ringside the whole time.
I think that's them just trying to put a different spin on a situation they've done so many times now, week after week. You know, we've already seen Woods against Cedric, so now they're trying to put a different spin on it. And it's tough to keep doing a different spin on an angle that's been going on for weeks. So this is why it came out like the way it did. But I believe we're getting the match at the pay-per-view now because of that win. Now we're actually going to get New Day against Hurt Business for the tag team titles again.
Yeah.
At TLC.
We did this already on Raw like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, I've said this before. Like, you keep getting title shots, eventually you're going to win. So I think the Hurt Business might actually win finally at TLC. Because you got to progress it somehow, right? Like, they're just endless title matches. Eventually you got to win. Like Randy did.
I think I like the Kofi Shelton match because it had a clear, decisive finish. Not like that Asuka Shayna thing. Asuka wins with a roll-up after Shayna, distracted by Lana, who was outside the ring, thwarting Nia Jax and hitting her with a Hurricane Rana. So Lana actually got some advantage on Nia Jax outside the ring. Nia tried to attack, but Lana kind of ducked out of the way, and Nia ran into some stuff. And Shayna, who, fought in the UFC where there's all sorts of celebrities and distractions ringside, cage side, didn't seem distracted then. Lana beats up Nia Jax. Nia Jax, who Shayna seems to not even like, but she's very concerned for her safety, so concerned that it distracts her and causes her to lose a match to Asuka. Another distraction finish from WWE. It's just like, how many of these are we supposed to see in a week? How many?
Well,
here's another one.
In this case, it makes
you want another
sense,
one?
Oh, no, I don't want another one, but of course we'll get another one.
Dana Brooke and Ricochet. Very next match. Dana Brooke and Ricochet, which, like, what a tag team, beat Reckoning and Slapjack. Doesn't Ricochet seem like he belongs in Retribution when I read the names? Ricochet, Reckoning, Slapjack. Like, Ricochet seems like he would fit. Maybe more than Mustafa Ali, who's got, like, a real name, you know? Like, all the guys in Retribution are Reckoning, Slapjack, Mace, T-Bar,
Yep.
and, like, Mustafa Ali. It doesn't, like, one of these things is not like the other, you know? If Ricochet was the leader, it would make more sense name-wise, but, you know, he's not. Mustafa Ali distracted Reckoning before the finish, which led to her losing to Dana. So then Mustafa was mad and berated Reckoning after the match. So a little bit of a different kind of distraction, but not nevertheless back-to-back matches with distraction finishes on Raw. And these are the two first matches on the show, basically finished the same way.
Yeah, I know. Again, like you've already said this
So
before.
lazy.
Like they lack creative like finishes, and then they just do the same thing over and over again. And again, 50-50 booking. Not everyone can be weak. So someone has to have an out for why they lost. It's just endless with this, unfortunately.
The problem is, these people they're working. Some of them are working hard and wrestling hard, and trying to, entertain.
They are great athletes.
Yeah, but then by the end of it, it's like, well, I don't care about all the work that you're doing because I know in the end there's going to be some bullshit finish. So the whole match is kind of null and void, If you have a bullshit finish, it makes the rest of the match kind of like, yeah, what was I watching this for? So you skip to the end. Meantime, nobody's seeing the solid work that these guys are trying to put in because the finishes are just ruining everything for them. It's not the wrestler's fault. It's the people in charge with no fucking clue and no creativity, and it seems like they don't care. That's what it really seems like. It seems like they're just putting shows out there because they have to. They're filling time. They don't care. The pay-per-views are just filling time. I feel like in AEW, at least when I watch that show, it seems like they care about entertaining the fans and trying to bring in as many people as possible, WWE is just like, yeah, here, this is what we're doing. Oh, you don't like it? Man, whatever. Watch TLC. You don't want to? Whatever. You'll come back. You'll be back by the Rumble. We know. You can't stay away. That's how they treat us. That's how I feel like the WWE treats us, I feel like they treat us like, we know you'll be back. You'll be back for the Rumble. You'll be back for Mania. Yeah. Raw sucked. Whatever. You'll be back. We're the only game in town. What are you going to do? Go to AEW? And a lot of us are like, yeah, we are. We're not coming back because you suck. Because your show sucks. And AEW actually seems to want me there. You know what I mean? Like, as a wrestling fan, I feel like AEW wants me to watch their show, and WWE's like, yeah, watch it or don't. Whatever. It's going to be on regardless. We don't care. Don't you get that impression from them? Like they don't really care?
Well, I just feel like some of the booking can be lazy at some points, yes, but I don't feel it's like they don't care. It's just some people are lacking in their job description, unfortunately. Whoever is like booking all these matches, someone's screwing up there because like when you have the same finishes over and over again, there's a problem. However, I feel like in terms of the way they format their show, like AEW, I found it was like a little too chaotic this week.
Yeah.
Where at least with Raw, like they carefully explain like what's going on. It may not be great, but at least you get what's going on with video package over and over again.
It's much simpler, but it's a little too simple, right? It's a little too simple, a little too obvious.
The quality also too in some aspects, it's like it's not up to par to what it should be. Like it feels like they're not trying hard enough. Like you've already said before, like it just feels like they lack creativity in some moments. And you expect more from WWE.
Yep, but we don't get it. Miz and Morrison host Miz TV. By the way, it's something I noticed. They host Miz TV. Didn't they, when Morrison came back at first, they were like calling it the dirt sheet because that was their...
that was on SmackDown.
Right, but now they're not doing the dirt sheet anymore. It's just Miz TV because John Morrison like is just a sidekick at this point. It's just sad for John Morrison, but whatever.
Well, because on Raw, because they're on the USA Network and Miz has a TV show, so they focus more on the Miz on Raw.
Right. Even though Miz sucks and John Morrison is actually the talented guy of the group, but hey, whatever. AJ Styles is the guest on their little talk show. AJ says he's going to break a steel chair over Drew's back. I was like, a steel chair? Steel chair is the accent. I was a little confused. I'm going to break a steel chair over Drew's back. I'm going to knock Drew out cold and climb the ladder and win the title. And I'm like, hell yeah, AJ. You fucking do that shit. Fuck Drew McIntyre. And then Morrison mocks Drew McIntyre and says he's a sheep shagger. My goodness. That means that means he has sex with sheep. That's what John Morrison said about Drew McIntyre on Live Raw. I was shocked. It was weird.
Yeah, it's not very PG.
No. And then Sheamus shows up, and he's like, I'm not going to betray Drew McIntyre. He's my best friend. I love him so much. And then Drew McIntyre comes out wearing a rash guard, a kilt, and the belt around his waist, looking ridiculous. Sheamus and Drew toss Miz and Morrison out of the ring. AJ bails. And then it's AJ, Miz, and Morrison getting the win over Drew and Sheamus. Sheamus accidentally brogue kicked Drew, which led to another distraction finish for AJ to hit the phenomenal forearm and the pin on Sheamus. Drew and Sheamus stared at each other a bit after the match, and then they brawled backstage. And then WWE official Pat Buck tried to separate them, and then he got beat up. And Drew and Sheamus, after fighting each other to resolve their differences, decided to go out for pints. Of course, adhering to the Irish stereotype, maybe Scottish as well, that they just like to drink and fight each other, and that's all they do, and that's all they're for. I don't know. I wonder what Wally, our boy in Ireland, thinks about that. Is that an Irish stereotype that he's okay with? I don't know. But, fighting Irish and all that. Like Drew and Sheamus are friends, but they fight each other because that's just what they do, fella. It was a little, whatever. I'm not offended, but I'm not Irish, so I don't know. Or Scottish. I am not Irish or Scottish. I'm one of the few Canadians with zero Irish or Scottish blood in me, Johnny, which is, a lot of people with the MC and MAC names out here. I don't have any of that in me. You have any Irish or Scottish in you, John? You must. Everybody in Canada has a little bit. Except for this guy.
I think I got a little bit of Irish.
Oh, yeah. See? There you go.
Someone joined, it seems.
Oh, Patrick C. Hamilton drops a super chat. And Patrick knows, man. Patrick says he joined the Ringside Report team. He joined he became a member of the YouTube channel. And he is glad. He says, I joined and glad I'm keeping you guys around. I challenge everyone watching to join before the end of tonight's show. Yes! If we could get, just 5 of you to join before the end of tonight's show, I would be thrilled. You would make my weekend. All right? Join. Join this weekend. Join the YouTube channel. Become a member. We want more members on the channel. And Patrick C. Hamilton became a member. We appreciate it big time. So thank you, Patrick, for joining. Thank you for dropping a super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I like his challenge, everybody watching right now, to become a member of the Ringside Report YouTube channel before the end of tonight's show. I would appreciate it very much. Very much. That would be nice. Thank you, Patrick. What a man. So are Drew and Sheamus going to get fined or suspended because they beat up a WWE official? Didn't Nia Jax get suspended when she beat up Pat Buck?
She did. So, yeah, you expect something to happen.
Nah.
At least fined.
We're thinking about this
not?
too much. No continuity in WWE. Let's be honest, Johnny. It's nonsense.
It's ridiculous if it doesn't happen, but yeah, I shouldn't be surprised, unfortunately.
Yeah, nothing will happen.
In WWE, not so much.
Bobby Lashley and Jeff Hardy had a match. Jeff Hardy lost via Hurt Lock submission. Matt Riddle approached Jeff Hardy before the match and suggested they become a tag team called the Hardy Bros. Jeff seemed into it. I'm into it too. Why not? Jeff isn't going to win the U.S. title beating Bobby Lashley, so why not become a tag team? Raw needs more tag teams. The Hardy Bros. Go for it.
Well, also, I mean, if he's already somewhat feuding with the Hurt Business, because you're expecting Riddle's probably going to wrestle Lashley at some point because he's feuding a bit with MVP.
Mm.
This could, transition into them feuding with Alexander and Benjamin if they become tag team champions. So I think this could work out for them.
It could. It could. Riddle Lashley is going to be a fun match. I want to see that. I want to see that at TLC. Hopefully, they haven't made that right for TLC. Like that's not official.
It's not official yet. I don't believe it's official yet, but hopefully they'll make it.
That's interesting, man. It's an interesting match. 2 MMA guys, But Riddle was like 170, I think, when he fought in the UFC, and Lashley's a heavyweight. It's a different deal, but I feel like Riddle was a little bit of a higher level fighter. He fought tougher competition in his weight division than Lashley. Like, I'm trying to figure out who's the better MMA fighter, who would win in a real fight. Probably Lashley because of the size factor, but size isn't everything, and Riddle was pretty good. Riddle was a good fighter.
Lashley had a good record.
Yeah, he did, but he fought absolutely nobody. So, like, who did Lashley really beat? James Thompson?
Yeah, not really big names.
Bobby Lashley's biggest names in MMA that he beat. I think he beat James Colossus Thompson at one point, which is like not... Oh, no, he lost to James Thompson. That's fucking pathetic. He did beat him later, but he lost to him, which means he's not good. You lose to James Thompson, Lashley beat Bob Sapp. Like, that's kind of the biggest name on Lashley's record. Matt Riddle, I think, has beat some legit guys. If I recall correctly... oh, no, he didn't really beat anybody good. Yeah, Riddle didn't have a great... He didn't have a great MMA record.
Back, though.
Yeah, but not over anybody good. I'm looking at his MMA record. Yeah. I don't know. I think Lashley probably beats him in an MMA fight. Size and, now that I remember Riddle's MMA record, it's just that he fought in the UFC, so it's a little bit more legit, but Lashley's a heavyweight. Lashley wins that fight all day.
Well, it's still a wrestling match I want to see, though.
Yeah. I do want to see that at TLC. So far, TLC, it's Drew versus AJ in a TLC match. Kevin Owens versus Roman in a TLC match. Nia and Shayna versus Asuka and Lana for the tag team titles. Fiend versus Randy. Sasha defending the SmackDown Women's title against Carmella. And New Day defending the Raw tag titles against the Hurt Biz. Yeah. Coming up on Raw, it's going to be Lana versus Nia Jax. And congratulations to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, who welcomed their new baby daughter, Rue, this week. R-O-U-X. I think it's pronounced Rue. That's their daughter. I think it's a tribute to Lash LaRue, famous WCW wrestler. I'm pretty sure they named their daughter after Lash LaRue, right? Rue?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but it sounds about right.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I can't think of anyone else in the wrestling business is named LaRue, so.
Rue.
Or Rue.
Look at this. There's Lash LaRue, baby. You see that? Look at that picture of Lash LaRue. You see who he's with? See, Lash LaRue's a little redheaded guy, and he's with, there's Chavo's there, and there's Hugh Morris is there too. There's Hugh Morris right there, baby. See?
And there's the Wall.
Who's the Wall? The big guy there? I don't know him. I know Hugh Morris.
All the way, unfortunately, so.
What?
Yeah, he died like 2003, I think.
Hugh Morris? No, he didn't.
No, the Wall, not Hugh Morris.
Oh. Who's the Wall?
He was just a guy in WCW.
His name was the Wall?
Big guy. I think he was also maybe AWOL as well, but not all the way through. I think it was just AWOL when he was in the Misfits, I think.
Alrighty. Patrick C. Hamilton trying to rally the troops, get people to join, become members. Become members of the YouTube channel. And you can also support by going to get some new merchandise over at merch.ringsidereport.net. or you can donate at support.ringsidereport.net. We got merch, and there's going to be some new merch. AJ and I are working on some special designs together, so there's going to be merch coming, and there's merch already that you can get over at merch.ringsidereport.net. Support the show, support the channel, baby. All right, Johnny. You want to talk about AEW?
You're not going to talk about Manscaped first?
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Manscaped. You got to be Manscaped. You got to keep yourself nice. Keep yourself looking good. Keep your balls looking good, you know? Your balls have to look good. They got to look nice and sexy, right? They got to smell good as well. You got to get the Lawnmower 3.0. You got to shave the balls. It's a great shaver right down to the skin. Fantastic stuff. No nick technology. They got a little light at the end so you can see everywhere you're going with the Lawnmower 3.0. Now available in Canada over at Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20 when you do. You get 20% off your order plus free shipping on everything over at manscaped.com. Promo code Ringside20. Help yourself out. Your balls will thank you, and we will thank you as well for supporting Manscaped, our sponsors. You help support the Ringside Report Network at the same time. Manscaped.com. Promo code Ringside20. Before we get into some AEW news, I want to give a shout-out to the Gorillas of Destiny. G.O.D., Tamatanga Tangaloa winning the World Tag League in New Japan. And also to the Ticking Time Bomb, Hiromu Takahashi, one of my favorites. I'm rocking his T-shirt right now. Hiromu, the Time Bomb, my man, out in New Japan. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. He won the Best of the Super Juniors once again. I think it's second year in a row. It's the second Best of Super Juniors win. I think he won last year too. So, shout out to Hiromu. Once again, Hiromu winning the Best of the Super Juniors. What a tournament it was over in New Japan. Some of the best wrestling you will see in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Hiromu Takahashi is one of the best professional wrestlers in the world today. He's one of those guys you got to watch. You know, he's one of those guys that people might not know about over here, but he is a big star in Japan, and he is super talented. I am a big, big fan of Hiromu. As you can tell, I'm wearing his shirt, you know? I'm celebrating his win in the Best of the Super Juniors. I'm wearing the Time Bomb shirt. I love me some Hiromu. Johnny, you like Hiromu?
I don't really know much about him, but I'm glad you're happy about it.
You've seen his matches with Dragon Lee or Ryu Lee. Remember those matches where he broke his neck? Remember that match he broke his neck? He got dumped on his head and he skidded across the ring on his head? Hiromu's crazy,
I
man.
vaguely remember the clip. That's about
God.
it, not the whole match, though.
Oh, my God. Hiromu's
crazy. Just want to say it's going to be $5,000 up front.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Up front. Especially up front.
So, Mako8033 on the chat says, how much money for Johnny to go blonde? So for you to go full bleach blonde, it'll be 5 G's up front? Do I get a cut?
Yep.
Huh?
We'll talk about it.
Oh, I want a cut. If you're making money through the show, I get a cut. Put it on Super Chat. Put it on Super Chat so I get a cut, and I'll just give it to Johnny later. All right? 5 G's to make Johnny go blonde. I don't think anybody's going to pay for that, John. I don't think anybody wants it that bad.
It's okay. Again, like, if you were around me in 2008, like, I already experienced it, so.
Yeah, I saw it. It wasn't your best look. I like you better. Black hair. It's better. It's a better look.
There you go.
Yeah. Just saying, it's a better gimmick look. Okay, AEW. Where should we start?
Well, the beginning, the Bucks match started the show.
Okay. Take it easy. Bucks beat TH2 after the BTE trigger. Solid match. No rules at all, it seemed like. People were kind of in and out. I don't know. They don't have to tag.
The ref's terrible.
The ref was like, whatever. The Acclaimed tried to attack the Bucks after the match, but SCU made the save. The Acclaimed are a team we're supposed to care about now. You know, the match was all right. It was fun. It wasn't, the greatest match I've ever seen, but it was, it was fine for what it was. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was fine.
Well, I just remember in the notes or one of my tweets that I wrote was just that there was some great spots in this match. Made no sense. The ref was completely useless. Just didn't do anything whatsoever. People just go in and out. Tags doesn't really matter. I feel like people maybe even tagged in and out of the ring. Like it didn't really matter. But like there were some amazing moments. Like Jack Evans, I think he did this like he jumped off one guy and then did a moonsault to the outside. Incredible stuff. Like TH2, like we don't see them enough on Dynamite. Like they should be on there more. And it's too bad they didn't win this match because now they aren't going to get a title shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we saw the match. Do they need to have it again? Like, I wasn't so impressed with the match where I was like, I need to see this again. And as a title shot, like, really? I don't believe them. I don't believe in these guys. They've been basically AEW dark jobbers for most of their AEW run. They were original team. They were signed right away, and they've been kind of nothing. I'm supposed to believe that they can beat the Bucks now? Come on, man. I don't believe in these guys. You got to build them.
Yeah, well, a big win, like, Private Party gets a big win over the Bucks, and TH2 can't do it. It's a little disappointing. Like, to me, this was definitely the best match on the show.
Yeah, I think that says something about the show more than the match.
Well, the show is more about moments than wrestling, I felt.
Yeah. I did not love this week's episode of Dynamite. It was, okay. But I was like, yeah. I liked it more than Raw or SmackDown, though. And that's the thing. Like, Dynamite doesn't have to be great to be better than Raw and SmackDown. Right? Like, this was the better wrestling show of the week, even though it wasn't the best episode of Dynamite.
Well, I thought there were some better wrestling matches on Raw, but this had some good moments. Again, I like seeing Sting. And
yeah,
I like that
as a show, right?
Well, again, a little too chaotic. Like, I like the whole, like, it's fast-paced, but, like, a lot of stuff was happening, and it was kind of actually difficult to keep up with everything that was happening because the segments always, like, start and end with, like, oh, now there's going to be this feud or something. Now these guys are going to run in. And it's like, oh, this brawl's happening, and these people interfere in a brawl. So much is happening on a show. I get it. They're trying to put everyone on, but it's not easy to capture everything. Like, I had to watch over some clips, like that brawl that happened backstage with Jade and
oh yeah, we'll get to that.
It was Red Velvet.
Yeah,
like, man,
I know.
so much happened there. And apparently they made a match off that. Like, what?
I know. It was like 25 seconds and nothing. It was confusing as hell. But even the Young Bucks TH2 match, like after the match, the Acclaimed show up, try to attack the Bucks, and we're like, who are these guys? And then SCU shows up and chases them off, and we're like, what? What's all this now? And now there's a match, the Acclaimed versus SCU on Dynamite this Wednesday, and it's like, okay, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
it's
mind
confusing.
That. Well,
it's a little much.
That wasn't that confusing because, like, they came out, they interfered, whatever, but there wasn't too much action. Like, they gave that a bit of time, but like the backstage stuff, it's like way too much stuff's happening. The show ends like chaotically as well. Again, this isn't all bad, but like when it happens like start to finish, it becomes a little too much. But
yeah.
Again, I think people got sucked in because Sting showed up, and regardless what you think, over 1 million people watched that. And Shaq as well. That was the second highest segment with Shaq showing up.
Well, it's a curiosity factor, man. People want to know what they're going to do. People want to know what they're going to say, right? Now we know. Sting had a little bit more mystery around it. Shaq was like, we'll get to Shaq. I thought the Shaq thing was awful, but you mentioned the Jade Cargill thing. What the hell was that? Jade Cargill's backstage, and like Red Velvet is there getting beat up by Cargill, Nyla Rose, and Vicky Guerrero. We've already established them as being like a trio because they beat up Brandy a couple weeks ago, right? So we already know about them. Yeah. They're beating up Red Velvet, who I thought was Brandy at first because it was so quick, and you're like, who? The hair's in her face. You're like, who is that? And it's like, oh, it's Red Velvet, and you're like, oh yeah, she's like Brandy's friend. And then Big Swole and Serena Deeb show up, and they seem to want to stop the attack, but the attack's already over, and like refs and people are there to like separate them. And then Ivelisse was there, and I think Diamante, whoever that is, and they showed up, and I'm not sure what their roles are. And then the announcers are like, "Oh, Jade Cargill's really aligned herself with some people, with Vicky and Nyla Rose, and now Ivelisse and Diamante." And I'm like, "Oh, it seemed like Ivelisse and Diamante were on Serena Deeb and Big Swole's side, but I guess they're not." Because in that short little, 20, 25-second clip, they put a bunch of people in there, and it wasn't clear who was on whose side. But now they made a match out of it, like you mentioned. It's going to be Ivelisse and Diamante against Serena Deeb and Big Swole on Dynamite Wednesday. And I'm like, huh? Right?
Well, again, like I saw the tweet, they're like, "Oh, after the brawl that happened, this match happened," and I'm like, "Okay, wait a minute, like so much happened there. Like, what exactly happened again?" So I had to watch it over again. I'm like, "Oh yeah, there was a little push at the end there," and like, yes, okay, now it makes sense. But like, so much was happening, it was hard to keep track of everything that was going on. And again, like it's fine to do that like once or maybe two times a show, but almost every segment it felt like something like this was happening. Like it was a very chaotic pace, and they really need to let things breathe a bit more, I found. Like I like that they try to keep the show going, keep you interested. Like that's not a bad idea, but just let things like happen a little bit more slowly.
Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson in the ring to be interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Tony asks Cody about Sting, and Sting immediately shows up. Like Cody couldn't even get a word in. Sting is just there.
That's okay. Right? That's what we want. Give us what we want.
Arn is like, "Sting, I just wanted to see if you're really here, and I'm going to leave." So Arn decides to leave. Tony Schiavone's like, "I'm going to leave too. You don't need me. Take the mic." And Sting's like, "Wait a second, Tony. I haven't seen you in so long. I'm going to hug you." Sting's in a good mood. He's like, "Tony Schiavone, say, it's Sting, it's Sting." And he says it, and Sting's so happy because he loves, Tony Schiavone because he announced him for so long and all that. They have history. WCW, right?
Beautiful.
Cody says he's been waiting a long time to share a ring with Sting, and Sting says he's not here for Cody, at least not yet. So Cody looks disappointed because Cody's like, "Oh, Sting's here, get to wrestle Sting," and Sting's like, "Nah, not yet." And then Sting says there's something. Sting is like, "There's something really familiar about this place, really familiar." And he looks at Darby Allin sitting in the stands with his face painted, and he's like, "Yeah, really familiar." And he's kind of like saying Darby Allin's ripping him off, right?
Completely.
Sting says he signed to AEW, and he plans to be there for a long time. He's 61. What's a long time? Sting then grabs Cody like this by the neck, and he goes, "See you around, kid." And then he leaves. And Cody's upset because Cody wants a match with Sting, and Sting's kind of being mysterious. So Sting is kind of like, "Oh, Darby Allin, oh, Cody Rhodes, maybe. And he's just teasing it. And he says he's going to be wrestling. He's going to be there for a long time. I mean, he's 61. How long? That promo was baffling. I was like expecting Sting to come out and be like, "I'm going to have one last match against you, Darby Allin, or you, Cody Rhodes, or I really like this Darby Allin kid. I think I'm going to take him under my wing. I'm going to be a manager in AEW." But no, he comes out and he's like, "I'm here. I'm back. I'm going to wrestle a bunch, and I'm here for a long time, and I'm sticking to AEW." And I'm like, "You're 61. Excuse me, sir. What the fuck are you talking about?" So how long and how many matches do you give this?
Well, I think this could go on for hopefully a couple of years at least. Like, let's get the most we can out of Sting. Let's, like build up to matches, maybe take like 2 to 3 months to give him one match and just do from there. Like, have him in segments every week pretty much, and then build up to one match. Hopefully his first match will be at the next pay-per-view. Him and Cody, I think that's what we want to see.
Not Darby?
Darby can be later on, I think. Darby has the thing with Brian Cage. Like, I feel like there's a much more you could do with Darby in different ways. Like, eventually get to that. Because, like, I think you want Darby to go over on Sting, but Sting, I don't think his first match in AEW is going to be a loss. So you build towards that, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Sting Cody. I mean, Cody wants a match with Sting. Sting doesn't seem interested in it. What do you think Cody has to do? He just beats the shit out of Sting. So attack him with a chair or just fuck him up and be like, now you want a match, old man? You know? Match time. That's how you make matches in pro wrestling. Cody's like, I want a match with you, Sting. Sting's like, not yet, kid. Cody's like, no, okay. Come on, Cody. You've been in the business long enough. You understand what you got to do to get a match. You either got to say that your opponent has no balls or attack him. WWE, all you have to say is no balls, and like a match is immediately made. You're a coward. Oh, that's fighting words. In AEW, you might have to do a little bit more to goad Sting into a match. Right? But.
Well, and because you're not going to see Sting wrestle every week, right? Like, they're going to slowly build towards this. And also, like, off what happened with Shaq, like, that's still on the table, I think, Shaq and Cody. So Cody's going to be busy, I think.
So Tony Schiavone's backstage with Brandy Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal. The interview we all needed to see. Brandy and Shaq.
We definitely need to see this.
Brandy's arm is in a sling. Shaq is there. He says he's close with Jade Cargill and wants her to do well in pro wrestling, but didn't like what she did to Brandy's arm, and he's going to have a talk with his friend Jade for being so mean to Brandy. And Shaq says, he has a lot of respect for Cody. He wants no part of Cody. Doesn't want to wrestle him. Shaq is more interested in seeing Jade versus Brandy. That's what he wants to see. He's just Jade's friend. Even though Jade first appeared threatening Cody about her giant friend Shaq that was going to come get him. And now Shaq is like, oh, gee, I respect Cody. I'm just here to support Jade Cargill, who's my friend. What's really going on there, Shaq? So Shaq tells Brandy while her arm is in a sling, she could watch Jade and take some notes, which Brandy, of course, doesn't like. He's like, what do you mean take notes from Jade Cargill? Trying to offend me? So Brandy gets mad, throws a full glass of water on Shaq, all over his face and body. And like, that was a lot of water. It was a tall 12-ounce glass of water, 16 ounces maybe, all over Big Shaq Diesel. And if you want to cover a man as big as Shaq in water, you better throw a big old cup. And Brandy had the big cup of water for Shaq. But Shaq's selling of it was awful. Shaq gets water thrown on him, and instead of being like pissed, he's like, who, me? Like, who? Oh, I guess I really stepped in it this time. Whoops. Like, he's like laughing about it. He's not pissed. He's not like, I'm going to kill your husband because of what you just did to me. Cody's dead. He's like, oh my, what a fun little skit we just did. Gee. Like, fuck off, Shaq. Big goof. Fucking sold that terribly. Shouldn't fucking wrestle because he can't even sell a fucking water cup thrown in his face. Fucking Shaq. I love Shaq and everything, but goddamn, man. Who doesn't like Shaq? Shaq Fu. What's that song he has with Biggie? Can't Stop the Rain. Fantastic. But, not good. This is not good. Shaq is not a wrestler. Don't wrestle.
Well,
come on, John. The selling of that water cup was awful. Did you not, think, ooh, that's not the right face you should make there?
Well, I think Shaq was doing that because Shaq was trying to get, he's trying to become a gift pretty much on the internet because, he was just looking for that kind of thing.
Stupid reaction.
He was just trying to, he was just trying to sell himself in a different kind of way.
Dumb.
And
comedic,
whatever,
though. It was comedic. He tried to do a comedy bit in a serious angle. The woman's got her fucking arm broken. Right? And you're saying, oh, you could take notes, my friend. And she throws water in your face, and you're, laughing about it? It's not the spot to be fucking comedic, Shaq. He went into business for himself, is what you're saying, trying to get himself over instead of getting the angle over, which is why he shouldn't be in the wrestling business.
Well, to be fair, I don't think AEW had a problem with what he was doing. I think they probably enjoyed it as well, and they aired it, so I don't think there was a problem with it on their end. And I think they're happy with this because this is going to get them a lot of publicity outside of just, people who watch wrestling every week. This is going to be on like ESPN. People are going to tune in again for this because Shaq's coming back.
Yeah, but who cares? He's not going to wrestle. And even if he does, it's going to be terrible. I don't know. After that promo, I'm done with Shaq. I was interested, but after seeing that, nah, I'm done. I'm done with him. He's a joke. He's just goofy. He's not going to be able to sell shit. It's going to look like trash. He's going to embarrass the wrestling business. Keep him out of it. Taz cuts a backstage promo with Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, and Will Hobbs. He's also got his son with him, and Taz's son is named Hook, and he's with Team Taz now. So there's that. FTR beat the Varsity Blondes via pinfall after the Shatter Machine. They had another name for it, but that's what I remember the name being called for their finish in NXT. Whatever.
I think the Goodnight Express, they call it.
Goodnight Express. There you go. FTR beating the Varsity Blondes, who are Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? Oh, good Dark Order humor there. If you watch Being the Elite, you'll get it. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? Oh, fucking John Silver, man. I love that guy. And we got to see him in the next little promo. Hangman is backstage. Now, Alex Marvez is like, Hangman Page, you have a 6-man tag team match next week against Matt Hardy and Private Party, but you don't have partners. Why was he booked then? Like, why did AEW do this to Hangman? Yeah, fuck you, Hangman. We're going to put you in a 1-on-3 match. If you don't have partners, too bad. Why does AEW management hate Hangman Page so much? Why did they book him in a 6-man tag without him having partners? And then, of course, John Silver and Alex Reynolds show up of the Dark Order, and they're like, we'll be your partners. Yeehaw! And Hangman is like reluctant, but he agrees to have them as his partners. So it will be Hangman Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds versus Matt Hardy and the Private Party. The Private Party Hardy. Private Hardy Party, I think is what they're called, right? Private Hardy Party? I like that.
So.
It's a good name. And Hangman's team is just called the Dark Order because he should join the Dark Order. Okay? Hangman saying he's not joining the Dark Order. Is this? Is this? I don't know what it is. This? I don't know. So that's the Inner Circle one, right? That's what they all do, the Inner Circle.
That's exactly right.
That's right. That was fucking good at the end. Put them in, boys. They'll put their middle fingers in. Fantastic. Yeah, okay. Dark Order. Whatever. Fucking.
Hey, I'm sure your son knows them all.
He does. John Silver and Alex Reynolds are going to be with Hangman. Shouldn't Hangman just join the Dark Order already? Come on, Hangman. Be cool.
Well, it feels like it's going to happen. It's just you're waiting for that moment exactly when they want to pull it off. Like, you need a big moment. Like, I feel like a lot of their shows, Hangman's just kind of like an afterthought. So until he's in like a big spot where it would mean something for him to join the Dark Order, I don't think it's going to happen. You need like a big moment, a big event.
Who is more likely to join the Dark Order, Hangman or Goldust? Dustin Rhodes, whatever.
You mean 7?
Yeah, 7. They even have a number for him. So Dustin Rhodes beats 10 in a match that no one wanted to see. Beats him with a bulldog, too. I was like, was that really the finish? A bulldog? He didn't even hit any of his finishers.
No, but that's it. Like, he's that good, he doesn't need to. That's the way you should win matches.
Okay.
When you're on the level he is, like, you should easily beat him like that.
It is just 10, I guess, you know? So, Evil Uno in the Dark Order cut a promo after the match. Uno says Dustin's name comes with a lot of pressure, and even in AEW, he's like the 3rd most important Rhodes. And Evil Uno suggests Dustin joins them and becomes 7 of the Dark Order. Dustin slaps Uno. The Dark Order seems like they all want to pounce and attack Dustin. Uno says no. Don't attack him. And he tells Dustin, you will one day understand, and when you do understand, you're going to come begging to join the Dark Order. And I think that's going to happen. I thought that promo was great. Uno is really good on the mic. Like, Uno as the leader of the Dark Order is very good. He's solid. I'm a big fan of Evil Uno. I had no idea that he could talk as well as he does, but over the past 2-3 months, he's really been blowing me away with his microphone ability. Like, this guy can fucking talk. Uno is really good. He knows his character. He knows how to, put words together. He's funny. He's got good comedic timing. He's really good on being the elite. Like, I know John Silver gets a lot of the praise, but Uno and Grayson are very funny on that show. And Uno is like, he's a fucking good promo. I really love Evil Uno. I think he's fantastic. Grayson, too. I think they're both great. Canadians, We're good at wrestling.
Well, Uno, you're just seeing him do promos right now. Unfortunately, you don't get to see him wrestle that much unless you watch Dark.
Yeah.
It's
he's
also
a good wrestler,
too.
He's a great wrestler. He's really good, Uno.
You kind of wish you'd see them wrestle more on Dynamite, but I think it's good that you're seeing him cut promos right now. With Brody Lee not there, it seems like he's kind of the talker now of the group, so it's great he's getting a chance to shine. But I also wish that you would have got to see Dustin talk, because he did a promo on Dark, and it just reminded me of he should be doing promos more often. It's too bad. I think he had one word on that promo with Uno. I think he just said no, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's also kind of lost in this, where he should be doing more. The match was fine. He should win matches easily like that, but they should get more promo time.
There's only so much time on one episode of Dynamite, and it seems like Dark is a 5-hour show, so I guess there's more time there. How long is Dark?
Yeah.
There's 100 matches on that show. It's ridiculous. I start watching it, and I'm like, what is all this?
I think it was 16 last week.
How long was the show? 3 hours? What are they doing?
Well, I stopped watching it because Impact started, right? And I wanted to see the whole Kenny thing, so...
Yeah, well, that was only
I only
the
saw
end.
the first half.
And if you saw the Impact promo, you pretty much saw the AEW promo too, right? Don Callis basically said the same shit on Impact that he did on AEW.
I was very disappointed. I'm not watching Impact again after that.
Me neither.
They're just going to repeat stuff. There's no point. I'm not doing
this.
Exactly.
Missed nothing. If you missed Impact, you saw the whole promo on Dynamite this week. So I did like the entrance, though. Kenny Omega showing up in a helicopter. That was cool as hell. Right?
Better than a bus on Impact, yeah.
Yeah. Had a chopper this time. They do the in-ring interview with Shivani. Shivani's like, that was the most horrible, underhanded thing I've ever witnessed in professional wrestling. You saw the NWO form, Shivani. Really?
Yeah,
what
but
Kenny
they
did
kept hyping
to steal the title and take it away from Jon Moxley last week was the worst thing Shivani's ever seen in the ring. You saw Hulk Hogan turn his back on the whole wrestling world. Back then people were like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
kayfabe wise, that was worse. No, Hogan turning his back.
Well, yeah, but Kenny broke the gentleman's agreement. How could he possibly do that? They hyped that as the worst thing he could possibly do in the world is break that agreement. So that was what made Kenny such a horrible human being.
I guess so. And Bob Cote bringing up, wasn't 7 Dustin Rhodes' WCW persona? Yeah, it was his white-faced Undertaker type gimmick. It was called 7, right?
He came out with it one time and said, this is stupid.
Yeah. It debuted and then it died immediately. But he was once known as 7. I wonder if he'll be known as 7 again. That is kind of funny. I didn't realize.
That's why I tweeted about Dynamite when I was watching him. For a WCW fan, this is a lot of fun. Sting's there. They're making references to, Dustin Rhodes when he was in WCW. I'm like, man, this is great.
Yeah, if you were a WCW fan in 1996, you are loving this show right now. Okay. I guess they assume some people only watch TNT, and they're like, whatever happened to pro wrestling? And then they're like, oh, wrestling's back on TNT. Great. There's some people out there live in Atlanta that only watch TNT, and they're like, oh, Sting, where's he been for the past 30 years? Anyways, Inner Circle cuts an in-ring promo. Jericho's like, this might be the last time we're all together in a ring. You better get along. And then MJF talks about how he might be the reason that they're not getting along, and says that they're all friends. And then my audio cut out for a good chunk of this promo. Did that happen to you too, or was it just TSN? What happened there?
I was fine. Like, I heard Ortiz talk, Sammy talk. To me, it seemed like Sammy was turning face, actually. And I feel like that might eventually happen.
Yeah. Sammy's like mad because he sees through MJF. MJF wanted to throw the towel in on Jericho's match last week, and Sammy stopped him. And MJF is clearly the bad guy here, but Sammy is willing to make peace, and they shake hands. But he does say that if MJF does anything else, he's going to quit Inner Circle. Hager and Wardlow, I thought, were pretty funny, accusing each other of staring at the other. That was really good. He's like, why does that guy keep staring at me? And Jericho's like, stop staring. He's like, I can stop staring at him. He's got to stop staring at me. And he's like, I'm not staring at you. You're staring at me. I enjoyed that. I thought they were good together. They're funny.
Well, it's because I've heard those conversations. People actually have those conversations in, like, high school, so it's funny for that, but it's also kind of goofy when it's like two big guys doing that.
I mean, it was goofy, but, whatever. And then they did their middle finger salute in solidarity, so the Inner Circle is all together. Aren't you happy, John?
Well, I didn't think they'd break up on just a random episode of Dynamite. I felt like if they are going to break up, it's going to be like a big kind of thing, a big match. They do have a big match next week, so possibly there might be some problems there. Like that first ever 7-on-7 match they're going to have.
Yeah, what is that?
It should be the 16th next week.
No, but what's the match, John?
Well, it's going to be pretty much all the Inner Circle against like a huge like group of wrestlers, pretty much. Just random group of guys put together to face them.
So you don't know?
I don't know exactly the 7 guys. No. I forget what the 7 guys were. But it's 7 guys against the Inner Circle, pretty much.
Oh, 7 guys? I think you've mentioned that it's 7 guys a few times. I'm going to try and find out who the guys are. Okay, here we go. It'll be Chris Jericho, MJF, Santana, Ortiz, Sammy Guevara, Wardlow, and Jake Hager, all of the Inner Circle, versus Top Flight, the Varsity Blondes, Brandon Cutler, and the Best Friends. It's quite a grouping of jobbers. I would go with the Inner Circle to win that match. If they don't, just quit wrestling.
Well, this is like clearly a match that just set up for them to look good in, pretty much. So, yeah, of course.
All right. So that should happen next week. What else is happening on Dynamite? Cody versus Angelico 1-on-1 on Wednesday night. Like we said, Hangman, Silver, and Reynolds versus the Private Hardy Party. Acclaim versus SCU. Ivelisse and Diamante versus Serena and Big Swole. Joey Janela versus Kenny Omega 1-on-1 in a no DQ match. That should be awesome.
It's also like an eliminator match as well, which I don't understand how that is, but they've added that stipulation there.
Right, if Joey Janela beats Kenny Omega, he gets a title shot, right? But
I guess that's how it works.
I don't think so. Eddie Kingston, Butcher, and the Blade got the win over Lance Archer, Rey Fenix, and Pentagon. Pentagon went backstage hurt during the match. Phoenix took the fall after a double-team powerbomb from Butcher and the Blade. Pretty abrupt finish because Rey Fenix had just done a dive on Eddie Kingston, and they were showing the replay as Rey Fenix is coming back into the ring and getting hit with the powerbomb. As soon as the replay ends, it's like 1, 2, 3, Rey Fenix is lost. And we're like, we just saw a highlight of him kicking ass. He just lost? What the fuck happened here? It's a weird finish. Weird direction there. What happened?
I think it's just time constraints. I think they were just told to go home, and that was it. They just didn't have enough time, I think, to space that out.
don't have a guy lose when you're showing a highlight of something he just did. And like, right? That was weird. Not good. Not good production there. And then Lance Archer just beat everybody up after the match. Beat up Eddie Kingston, Butcher and the Blade. They all ran away from Lance Archer. He was going bananas. Everybody dies. Lance Archer also jump-started the match. I don't know if you noticed that. The bell didn't ring, but I like when the bell rings. But Archer jumped and attacked everybody before the match started, which is something that Suzuki-gun in New Japan always does. If you're a member of the Suzuki-gun faction led by the great Minoru Suzuki, you jumpstart all your matches. Before the guy can make the introductions, whatever, you're attacking your opponent, the bell rings, and the match starts that way. That's how Suzuki-gun starts all their matches. Lance Archer was a member of Suzuki-gun, so when he jump-started the match, I was like, yeah, that's some Suzuki shit right there. I appreciated it, all right? Bringing some of that New Japan, Suzuki-gun energy to his AEW character, and I fucking love it. Lance Archer's a bad man. I like that guy. He's awesome. You know who else is fucking scary? Abaddon. Jesus. She beat Tesha Price with a neck breaker thing. Abaddon kept beating her up after the match. Hikaru Shida showed up with a kendo stick. Smacked her in the head with the kendo stick. I was surprised she took a headshot there. Abaddon drops and then gets up like the fucking zombie that she is. And Sheeta's like, oh, fuck, and runs away. That was fucking cool. Goddamn, Abaddon moves like a zombie. She's legit scary. I love it.
Everything but the entrance. I thought the entrance, they could do more with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see, like, what they had with Sting. Like, Sting has this amazing entrance. And yet Abaddon, like, you just see her crawling out there. There's no cool lights or anything like that. It's just her crawling out there. It seems like something they could do more with. Like, it seems like they haven't worked enough with her to make her seem like more special than she should be.
Well, this is what, her third appearance on Dynamite, maybe? She hasn't been there a lot.
Right.
So, yeah, it needs a little bit of work.
2 appearances?
Yeah.
Sting gets snow all the time? Like,
yeah, well, Sting, they plan that out a little bit more than Abaddon. But I like Abaddon. I think she's talented. She's got a fucking look, man. Jesus. So Kenny shows up in the helicopter. He teases another surprise. But Don Callis says that we're not ready for it. So he says, Kenny's not just about making, winning championships. It's about making history. They have another surprise, but they didn't give it to us. Instead, they bid us adieu, goodbye, and good night, bang. And I fucking loved it because, we don't see that shit. We haven't seen it in so long in AEW. I was like, yeah, Kenny's doing his catchphrase again. This is what I'm trying to see. Good night, bang. I like the catchphrase, all right? It's a good catchphrase. It's fucking great. It should end the show, though. Didn't end the show. What's the surprise? Kenny is going to be number 30 in the Royal Rumble. He's going to win. He's going to challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania as AEW champion. Right? Right? That's got to be it. What else could it be? I mean, New Japan does have their Tokyo Dome show on January 4th. So, could be that. Could be Wrestle Kingdom. I think it's going to be another promotion. I don't think it's going to be WWE. Impact has already been done. I think he's going to go to New Japan. I think he's going to show up in Japan.
Well, I believe he's, in AAA, I think, tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken. I think he's defending his championship. So, I mean, he is doing that. So maybe he's also leading to another big match there, possibly. It's not non-possible, but I think it would be kind of cool if we saw him wrestle on an Impact pay-per-view, defend the AEW title on one of their pay-per-views. I think that'd be kind of cool.
How cool would it be if he entered the Rumble?
Not really that cool because it's never going to happen. So
right,
I wouldn't think about it whatsoever.
Okay, John, we know it's never going to happen, but it could happen if certain people decided that it's going to happen. Anything can happen technically in wrestling, things could happen. You never know. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen, but both of us knowing that it won't happen, wouldn't that make it like even crazier if it did happen? You know what I mean? Like, obviously neither of us think it's going to happen. That's why it would be the greatest surprise in wrestling history if it did happen. It won't happen, but I'm just saying, like, fuck, wouldn't it be cool if it did? That'd be so fucking cool. Won't happen. But hey, WWE would be smart to do it.
Cool.
I think it would be very cool. They'd be smart to do it. Imagine all the wrestling companies working together. All of them? Wrestling company wars? Come on, it'd be crazy. It'd be so nuts. Dream matches constantly? Come on. Yes.
The fact that we've gotten this, like, it's kind of amazing. If we can get New Japan also involved in this, like, I think that's really the ceiling for this, in my opinion, in terms of, like, Feds feuding.
I don't disagree, but don't you think it would be more interesting if you could, like, fantasy booking, we're in charge of all of everything, wouldn't you put WWE in the mix too to really spice it up? Like, if you could, you would. I mean, they can't, so they won't, but, like, you know, in an ideal world, why not have everybody work together? Like, it's not going to happen, and I get that, John. Like, I'm with you on that. But, like, if you could do it, like, why not? It would be cool, you know? It'd be fun.
Yeah, I guess it'd be fun, but Kenny in the Rumble, like, that's not where I would use him, actually. Like, I'd use him in, like, a dream kind of match. Like, him being in the Royal Rumble, that's not fun.
How about he wins the Rumble, goes back to Dynamite, doesn't show up in the WWE again until WrestleMania? You know, shows up maybe a couple times on Raw, whatever, wins the Rumble, says he's going to challenge Roman Reigns at fucking Mania. He's going to take the title off their golden boy, and he's going to walk away as the greatest champion in the history of wrestling, and WWE is not going to be able to do anything about it. Like, that'd be amazing. It would be amazing. How would they book that? How would that work? Fuck, who knows, you know? But you want to fucking spice things up, I mean, that would definitely spice things up. It would get my attention.
Well, it's not the match I want to see for Kenny if he wrestled in WWE, but I guess we all have different looks at it, I guess. Like, I'd rather see Kenny wrestle someone like Seth Rollins, like Daniel Bryan. I know he's wrestled AJ before too,
sure.
But like I'd rather see those matches instead of Roman,
or
even like I wouldn't want him to wrestle guys like Drew, Roman, or even Randy. Like I would just want to wrestle guys that I know he could probably have a good match with.
Sure, and that the WWE would let him beat, maybe, you know, as an AEW champion. Look, it's not going to happen. This is all fantasy. This is all nonsense. But I think it would be fun. MJF beat Orange Cassidy in the main event to retain the AEW Diamond ring, so he is still the Dynamite Diamond champion. Inner Circle brawled with the Best Friends and other babyfaces ringside. Miro showed up while the ref was distracted, clotheslined Orange Cassidy to allow MJF to get the win. Miro then beat the shit out of a bunch of security guards after the match, and it was like the Miro show to close the show. It's kind of what you're talking about with AEW. It's like it starts off MJF and Orange Cassidy, Inner Circle's there, a bunch of Orange's friends are there, and then it ends with just Miro beating everybody up, which is weird.
Well, I actually like this though because I thought I think it was the week prior when they saw him in the Battle Royal. It's like they had an opportunity right there to make Miro into something, and they didn't capitalize on it. And now it seems like they realize, oh, maybe we should have, and it seems like they were trying to correct their mistake in a sense by giving him like the big spot in the main event. Hopefully it pays off because I think Miro could be like a huge star in AEW. They just haven't gone in that direction yet. Hopefully this is the start of that.
I agree. I think Miro is a great talent, and I think him and Orange Cassidy is going to be a good launching pad for Miro to become a big star in AEW. Maybe he'll have a big match on New Year's Smash, a 2-night event that AEW is going to do 2 weeks in a row on Dynamite, December 30th. Chris Jericho advertised on commentary. Snoop Dogg will be a guest on the January 6th episode of Dynamite. Night 2 of New Year's Smash. And also, I saw a rumor that the Butcher may be taking some time off from AEW to tour with his band Every Time I Die, which is a pretty big band. I had no idea he was like a guitarist in that band. Did you know that? Did you know he was in that band? They're pretty well-known.
I heard Jericho talk about it, so yeah.
And his real name is Andy Williams?
Oh, I didn't care or know about that, but that's nice.
Isn't that the guy that Nelson wants to see when they go to, where do they go? They go to, Bart, they get a car, and Nelson wants to see Andy Williams. Andy Williams! He sings Moon River, and Nelson's loving it. Isn't that Andy Williams? Where are they? They're in...
if it is, it's a different one, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, it's a different Andy Williams. It's not the Butcher. But isn't it Andy Williams he wants to go see? What's that episode? What town are they in? They're in, aren't they in, what's that town? John, help me out here. Simpsons.
Was it Shelbyville?
No, not Shelbyville. When Bart... Get it together.
When Bart gets his license, right?
Yeah. Bart gets his license, and they go to a town. The episode's called Branson, Missouri. Thank you. Bart on the Road is the episode. And I wonder if I could just play a little, so I could tell you, so I'm not completely out of my mind, and I'm actually talking about. Let's see here.
Oh, I believe you.
You remember the Andy Williams clip.
Vaguely, but I mean, this is how many decades ago was this
Andy
episode?
Williams, pull over. He's threatening them. Nelson's loving it. No.
Oh, Nelson hit him if I'm not mistaken.
What is this place?
Branson, Missouri. My dad says it's like Vegas if it were run by Ned Flanders.
Andy Williams!
See?
We don't need to stop here.
Oh.
Yes, we do!
Yeah. Punch Bart.
There's the head.
Punched him.
Yeah, he punched him.
They're all Millhouse is sleeping. What's his name is sleeping? The nerd kid, Martin sleeping. Bart's bored. Nelson's loving it. Loving every minute of it.
I didn't think he was going to do Moon River, but then bam! Second encore!
There you go. So that's what I think
Nancy
of when
Cartwright.
I think Andy Williams.
Great
I think of
actress.
Nelson from The Simpsons. Okay. And that's the show. That's our show. That's how we're ending it this week.
With The
fucked
Simpsons,
up, eh?
that's a good ending, actually.
It's a good ending.
It's not as good as the Secret Zebby ending you had yesterday, but still good.
That was fully accidental. We were supposed to be off after the credits rolled at the end, but we weren't for some reason. And, yeah. Hey, that's what happened.
It seemed fully intentional, actually, because you were singing a song, and it seemed like you were singing a song to the theme song as well.
Oh, maybe.
So it seemed completely intentional.
Good. Well, I am glad that it was intentional and it all came off without a hitch. And I thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for chatting and being here with us. And a big shout out to Patrick C. Hamilton for becoming a member of the team. He is a member, and we appreciate all our members. Patrick also dropped a super chat and challenged you all to become a member of the YouTube channel. So I'm going to go check out our members and see who joined and who didn't. If you didn't join, I'm going to know that you didn't become a member, and I will be disappointed in you, okay? I will be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. for the UFC 256 watch-along with AJ and Freddie. Yeah, tonight, technically. You see how hard I work? You guys got to support the channel. I'm working really hard. You guys have no idea. I'm working here. I'm doing this show. I got to do all sorts of post-production on this show, put a podcast up, fix the website, do all sorts of shit when this show's over. Then I go to bed. I wake up tomorrow. I got to go to work. I got a shoot job. I come home. I have dinner. I take care of my son. And then I'm back on YouTube for the Ringside Report Network. I'm working hard here, baby. Support the channel, all right? Support the channel. We appreciate it.
Support the channel, wear a mask.
Support the channel so I could quit my shoot job. God damn, I want to quit that job. I'm going to tell you something, John. I'm going to tell you something here at the end of the show that I wouldn't tell anybody. But I'm going to tell you because it's just you and me now. It's the end of the show. A lot of people where I work, they put it on their social. Pretty much everybody, I think 100% of people that work where I work, if they have social media, they put that they work there on those social media. I am the only motherfucker that works there that has nothing of it on his social media. And there are reasons for that. Many reasons. One, I don't want to be associated. It's just easier. It's freer. And two, I don't need it like that. Those other people, they need it like that. You know, they need it for the clout. I'm not trying to get that clout. I'm trying to get the other kind of way. You know? I'm going the other way. Saying? You know what I'm saying, John?
I'm confused. Someone just wrote shakedown. I'm like, what's going on here? Like,
yeah, Mako is saying it's a shakedown. Yeah, it's a shakedown. We want you to put in $5 so you could become a member of the channel. We are shaking you down, Mako. Okay? I'm shaking you down for $5. $4.99, baby. Become a member of the channel. I appreciate it. If everybody watching gave us $5, we'd have some real money. You know what I mean? We could do this show like full time. We wouldn't have to go to these jobs and do all this stuff. And maybe the WWE watch-alongs would come back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't know. After the last one, that's not a good idea.
Well, probably not. But if I had less stress and I didn't have to work a shoot job, maybe I'd have more time and energy and patience to watch a 3-hour WWE pay-per-view here on YouTube. But right now, there is no chance in hell that I'm doing another WWE watch-along. No chance. We'll do a TLC post-show. We'll do post-shows. If you want the watch-alongs to come back, though, it's going to take enough money for me and John to quit our shoot jobs, I think. I think that's what it's going to take, right? I think we're going to have to quit our jobs, and then maybe WWE watch-alongs will come back. But, nah.
Well, in the meantime, I think we're good. Everything's
We're good. We're good for now.
People can enjoy the watch-along at least later tonight.
Yeah, UFC 256 watch-along 10 p.m. here on the channel. Don't forget to like the channel, subscribe. Whoa, let me hit the thing. Like, subscribe, click the bell, notifications every time we're on, okay? Leave a comment as well. It helps us out. Okay, Johnny? Any final words here, Big John?
Well, it's been a fun week. And I can't wait for next week because I think we're on the road to TLC next week, if I'm not mistaken, because TLC, I think, is the following Sunday.
Yeah, next Friday will be our TLC preview.
It ends pretty quickly. Finally, the year will be over, the last pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, it'll be the 20th of December, TLC. Then it'll be 5 days from Christmas, Johnny. Celebrations. Happy Hanukkah, baby. We are on the... how many candles did I light tonight? 2? Second night. Feels like the third night, but I guess we're only the second night. Happy Hanukkah to all my Hanukkah friends. Okay? I lit my 2 candles tonight. Night 2. We got 6 more nights to go, baby. 6 crazy nights. All right?
That'd be cool if you actually lit the candle for 3 tomorrow on the show.
No, we do it at sundown. We don't do it at 10 p.m. It's too late. I'm not lighting my Hanukkah candles at 10 o'clock at night. It's ridiculous. You do it around dinner time.
That's too bad.
Yeah, well, you're obviously not Jewish. You don't know when you're supposed to light the menorah. Okay? Okay? Light those menorahs, baby. I got a menorah. And if you're a real J.E. dub like me, you got a menorah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what... I just came up with that, but I think it's fucking great. J.E.
It's
dubs.
politically correct.
All my J.E. dubs out there. Yeah. You've heard of A.E. dub. I'm a J.E. dub. Okay? We love you. Happy Hanukkah. See ya. J.E. dub.